My name is Melvin.
I hereby reconvene the Dead Poets Society.
Yay!
Being a feral alley cat, I love sneaking into cinema. Let's grab some popcorn and dive in.
Just let him use it, I don't care.
So the last bullet, man, make it count. Great shot, man.
Today, we're talking about a somber topic. No one's attending the movies. We'll discuss the problem and some solutions. Since I'm scatterbrained, we may jump around a little bit, but stick with me to the very end. Cinema is no longer the apex of culture.
Thinking about we're completely jumping over movie theaters. We're missing the in-person magic of storytelling. People are not going to Broadway shows anymore. We're not going to theater.
I understand that we gauge things by California standards. The rest of the country doesn't give a fuck, okay? They just don't anymore.
Movies are supposed to be, working class entertainment, and it kind of feels like it's no longer that.
Before we can fix cinema, there's a deeper, fundamental issue. We have to repair biped culture. Society is falling apart. It makes me sad. Biped loneliness.
Men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society.
What worries you most about the future, basically?
Social media. Smartphones, the internet, it did change socialization.
It's actually getting weirder to interact in real life than it is over the phone now.
Yeah, like it's not that weird, but it is one of those things where it's like...
Their faces are dug in their phone.
Chances are you're like looking at your phone and you're like, what?
Anytime you try to really get crunk, there's some weenie in the corner taking some video of you, showing it to the whole world. Oh, why is he running around punching all the hoes? Bro, sorry for party rocking.
Tech is taking over everything in our world.
That's like too broad of an answer, but like loneliness across the board. Just generally like interacting with people face to face in the real world.
Big tech is not our friend.
Fuck Zuckerberg.
The bottom line is they are doing everything they can to sequester you from the most meaningful and important thing in your life, and that is relationships. Get off your phone.
They've given the Zoomers ever less to lose.
Because we have essentially disconnected people from what I guess could be called the narrative of a human life.
I've been to few parties in my life, and okay, well here, let me pull up the post I'm talking about. I love 90s and 2000s movies so much, and all of the teen movies have one of these party scenes. They look so fun. I'm Gen Z and have never been to anything like this. So is this a thing that just doesn't happen anymore, or is it Hollywood trying to make me hate my life more? An old school house party, that's like a next level vibe.
There's very solid links published with neuroinflammation and even moderate or even light alcohol consumption.
I told you not to let me drink.
Jamie, I gave you a non-alcoholic beer.
Oh.
The young people are not falling for the same traps of drugs and alcohol and party culture and casual sex.
Welcome to the party, guys. Oh, if you're gonna have sex, please do it in my parents' bedroom.
They got their heads on straight.
There are so many better ways to have a good time. Alcohol isn't necessary.
Oopsie! Look at that. Oh my god. Oh.
Degenerate behavior. But the other angle is to say it's not like these young people are virtuously declining. They just do not have social networks like people used to.
They want a position of honor and dignity in society. I really think that's what they're asking for.
Civilization, the older generations are more or less naively depending on them to remain well-behaved, getting scraps from the table.
How in the world does the richest country on earth have so many working homeless, people who actually have jobs, maybe multiple jobs, that are trying to afford life and can't even afford a place to live, guys? Like, how is that possible? Are we turning into a third world country? Because by the looks of things, if you ask me, we are. In fact, it might already even be one and be a first world country in disguise right now, only due to the fact that we haven't lost the world reserve currency status from the dollar.
A lot of this has to do with the racket that has taken over civilization, and basically lots of people are being drained of well-being that is flowing to somebody else, and they are kept in line with propaganda and threats.
I think we're at the start of a revolution.
First step to solving a problem is completely mapping out the problem.
People who are having conversations, still Gen X dads, who are like, right, okay, there's a real problem here. And, civilizationally, we have dropped the ball somewhere.
And I don't think things are getting better. I think they're getting worse. And I would make the claim, if you don't agree with that, then you're just not perceptive enough.
They have a right to threaten to walk out on a civilization that has betrayed them in this way. I think that's, if I were in their shoes, I would feel that too.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that.
We're going to define a revolution, right? It's the replacement of the elites.
There is a denial by the old social classes that new social classes exist or that disruption is happening.
There used to be the power to be able to control who people listen to.
Hey, that's me, the guy who's canceled on most of social media, and I'm happy. For a while I was bitter that they cancel me everywhere, but you can feel that the culture is shifting towards the counterculture, towards the people that are on the outside that can criticize how fake everything is.
Movie stars / radio stars, which held a position in society that is interesting is that it's sort of degraded into nothing. A lot of people don't realize is how quickly an entire aristocratic class structure can erode and degrade. And I'm talking within a generation. They're playing this weird Hollywood game, which is another social class which is also dying.
Resist attempts to redraw old hierarchies.
In order to move up on the counter hierarchy, you need to be willing to do things that are a little bit contrarian and a little bit against the grain, or take a risk that other people are not willing to stomach.
Artists may be able to bypass the publishers, galleries, and labels who once snubbed them, but the gatekeeper now is money.
Look, movies cost money.
My thoughts are the Hollywood system is broken, and it's getting to the point where it's irreparably broken. If anything's going to save storytelling in Hollywood, it's going to be indie films. And you're going to have to take the attitude of, I just need to bypass Hollywood altogether.
Rebellious freedom is inextricably wed to capital.
Paid $700,000 to get that. Can you believe that?
I flex too. Look at my mechanical Swiss watch.
Sometimes curators look at my work and they say, why didn't you ever paint like that before? I'd answer, because no one ever gave me enough money to be able to.
I need to scrap together money and investors and whoever and just make the movie I want to make.
On one hand, this is massively freeing. You can just say, fuck the man, I'm doing what I wanted. On the other, you win if you have startup capital provided by your dad. The network has many contradictions.
You have agency, full stop.
And you go, what? You know what? I'm going to work harder next time. I'm going to make something that really, really resonates with a lot of people.
We must realize that life on the network is not separable from life off the network.
Really, what people are looking for is just a place that they can feel like they belong.
Bipeds need to create third places and social clubs for all classes of society.
You cannot build a third place. There are certain conditions that result in third places, but there's no way to guarantee it.
If we don't have real third places, what do we have instead?
One of the most difficult criteria for third places to meet is that conversation must be the main activity. Conversation is not as likely in places that don't offer consumables. This means that a lot of places people want to be third places are not. Places free from consumption generally require something else to keep people coming, like scheduled events. Establishments built for other purposes are commandeered by those seeking a place where they can linger in good company.
What is the role of alcohol in society? I've seen a lot of drunk bipeds.
All right, welcome to Club Sub. Drinks on me. JK, I don't even drink. Because you don't want to have the headache of dealing with drunk people.
Why I don't smoke, why I don't do any recreational drugs, and why I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. I never have, and I never will.
And you're one of these guys that does not drink alcohol. I'm the same way.
Nothing good happens in a nightclub.
Extroversion can happen without alcohol. How, you ask?
When you cut out alcohol, you can either stand in the corner on your own and not talk to the girl or not really interact, or you can pluck up the endogenous courage to be able to go and do it.
Now there's an influx of women talking about how they wish men would approach them like the good old days. This is an incredibly hot topic on the internet.
What are you scared of, Zoomers? That women are gonna film your sad attempts to hit on them and post them on TikTok for the world to see?
Yeah, that's right.
That doesn't happen.
And so the problem is that we've had so much segmentation of the culture that there's no universally agreed upon rules for engagement.
Humans are social creatures, but you have to be socialized properly. You can't just throw a kid in the fucking jungle and he comes out and he's suddenly able to riz the hose.
There needs to be sanctioned areas where approach is encouraged.
What's your name? Forget it. I got a myrtle here. Vera, as in very, very. Cicero.
Meow. The point is to tell people to get out of their laptops and phones and face each other. I'm just trying to help you bipeds. How do we apportion areas that are sanctioned for social approach? At Bardo Coffee House in Denver, they have these signs, which gave me the idea. In terms of commandeering third places, Sleepwalk Cinema's idea is to apportion areas for extroversion and introversion. Look at this conceptual illustration I made. The extrovert zone is sanctioned for approach. I've made signs for you to indicate which areas are which. If people are feeling shy, they just go over to the introverted side of the house. Think of it as a cool cat's perch. On opposite sides of the signage, an extroverted zone. I've included the maximum decibel levels. A lot of times you'll find third places that are too noisy. You can download signage PDFs from Sleepwalk Cinema's Substack. Kind of like tactical urbanism. Just print out these signs and put them in your local coffee house and see what happens. You'll notice people start talking to each other, even strangers. So our first objective is to commandeer true third places. After we've got bipeds talking to each other, what's the next step? Now we must convert movie theaters into third places. Cinemas should accommodate lingering and apportion areas for conversation. One thing that movie theaters can do, especially multiplexes, is repurpose certain auditoriums. In fact, omit all trailers from feature presentations and instead dedicate one auditorium to running vintage and new trailers.
Make you trash. Human race will catch no breaks. And out of space. That's good. Ain't no breaks. And out of space.
Sleepwalk Cinema has pulled all its films from streaming. In the future, will only show in theaters. In the past, Sleepwalk Cinema has worked with Regal, AMC, Arkins, and Landmark. They've all been great to work with. In fact, they're very indie-friendly. We're happy to show our films there again, hopefully soon. And getting back to the point about movies being for the middle class, Sleepwalk Cinema has a script, Starling Heights Forever, that we're trying to get funded. It will take $2 million to produce and $1 million to promote and release. That is the price of being heard that Molly's talking about. Yes, it will be a classic American event. And yes, the screenplay has strong masculine male characters and feminine female characters. Sleepwalk Cinema is doing a test run of our new social club idea in Boulder and Denver, Colorado. You are invited. Basically social clubs for all classes of society. If you want to be invited to our next social gathering, become a subscriber on Substack. There will be a simple barrier to entry, a dress code, closed-toe dress shoes. It's a very simple but elegant barrier to entry. I think bipeds need to start dressing nicely again. Bring back style.
You got it.
The shared experience of film, that's humanity. That's like real person interaction art. That is cinema.
In summary, we need to restore the fabric of society before we can rebuild cinema. The bottom line is, in real life culture, is your jetpack a Tech Bros dystopian matrix. I'm rooting for you bipeds. I hope you can figure it out. Never forget, Melvin loves you. See you at the movies. More adventures next time. Meow.
Really what people are looking for is just a place that they can feel like they belong. I think this is what nostalgia is about. I think the reason that everyone feels this longing for a home that no longer exists, I mean, you can't go back to when you were a child, but you knew where you were, you knew where you belonged, and you knew that tomorrow would be like today, and everything would be predictable and reliable, and you had people around you who you knew loved you. And that, I think, is really what everyone actually